In this video, we will show you how to replace your front window motor. Let's get started. Okay friends, let's get started on our job. We'll find the inside door handle and continue on right on the inside here. Use a small pocket screwdriver. You're going to find a trap door. Carefully get in between this area and remove it. You'll see that you have two locking clips on that. Just give it a quick inspection and set it aside. Behind that, you're going to find that you have a T27 head screw right here. It's essentially shaped like a star. Let's remove this. Now let's continue on with a plastic trim tool. Along the top and bottom of this inside handle, there's going to be two locking tabs. One approximately right here, and another right there as far as the top. Let's carefully use that trim tool and try to get in between this area, gently separating it. Once you have it off of there, you should be able to pull it right off. We'll have a look at the back. You can see those locking tabs. Now let's move along to this area. To remove this, continue on with your trim tool. You'll find along the front area of this, there's a small slot. Carefully get in between this area and gently separate it by lifting it up. There we are. You can see that it has some locking tabs coming across the forward side here, and on the other side, it also has locking tabs. Let's start removing all of the wiring harnesses from the back side. To remove each of these, you're going to have to squeeze on the locking tab. They should be approximately in the center of each of the wiring connectors. Squeeze it in, pull it right off of there. Once you have it removed, give it a quick check for corrosion. Assuming it looks good, set it aside and continue on. Set that aside. With that out of the way, let's have a look down inside this area. You're going to find one 7mm headed bolt right here. Remove it. Now we can start removing our other three mounting bolts that hold the door panel on. You'll find one right here and then two down along the bottom of the panel. Remove all three using your 7mm. Let's move down along the bottom. We'll find our other two. Now let's move to the top forward side of the door panel. You're going to find this plastic piece right here. Use a plastic trim tool to carefully remove it. You can tell it has one locking tab, and along the bottom it has this hook that swerves underneath the door panel itself. Now that we have all those out of there, carefully grab onto that door panel. We're going to lift it straight up, paying attention to our door lock along the top. Now let's start removing the speaker from the door. For this, we're going to remove our three Phillips head screws holding it in place. At this point, you can go ahead and disconnect the speaker to set it aside. Now that we have our two screws out of there, if you were to look along this side, you're going to find a squeeze tab. Go ahead and squeeze on that tab and carefully pull it away from the door. As you do that, you can also grab onto the vapor barrier. We'll start pulling this away from the door. pull the wiring out through here. At this point, you have a clear view of the window motor wiring. It's this area right here. There's a tab along the bottom. You can gently pull this down and separate the wiring. Once you have that off, go ahead and push that into the door. The next thing we're going to do is remove our 3 T27 screws. You can see each of them through these circular holes. I'll hold onto that window regulator on the inside of the door. Now we can carefully pull this away. Once you have that pulled away, you can grab onto the motor and separate it from the window regulator. Let's remove it from the door. There it is, friends. All right, let's get ready to install our brand new window motor. When you install this, you want to have it in approximately this angle. Let's carefully put this inside the door and then slide the motor into the window regulator. We'll line up the cog with its corresponding hole and slide it into position. Once that's in there, go ahead and push it up against the door to the bracket, and then we'll start in our 3 mounting bolts. With each of those started, snug them up. Make sure they're nice and tight. Give it a wiggle. Now that we have that mounted in, let's continue on to the wiring. For the wiring, it's important to make sure that you pay attention to the cable for the window regulator. It's a good idea to put it in between the window regulator cable and the door panel itself, closest to us on the inside. Once you have it through there, we'll continue on by bringing it up into the proper position. Slide it through the square hole in the door, line up the locking tab, and lock it in. Listen for a click, give it a tug to make sure it's secure. Put this back in its original position. Now let's move along to this area. You have your alignment tabs along the back. We'll slide this into position, making sure that we lock in our locking tab on this side, little squeeze tab there. After that, you can put in your 2 5.5mm mounting bolts. Let's get that aligned. Snug them up. Now it's time to reinstall the door speaker. On the back side, make sure you reconnect the wiring harness. We'll slide it in, listen for a click, make sure that's secure. Continue on by lining up the door speaker with the door. Start in all 3 of your Phillips head screws. After each of them are started, you can go ahead and snug it up. All right, it's time to reinstall the door panel. Let's start down at the bottom at the trunk release switch. Listen for a click, give it a tug. We're going to take this bundle of wires and slide it up and through the outside of the door panel. With that up there, we can continue on down along here. We'll connect these in. Get the larger one in there first. Move along to the smaller one. Now we can take the door panel. We're going to have to lift it up nice and high so we can get up and over the door lock. You also want to pay attention to the door panel itself. It has several hooks, as you can see, making its way all the way around. They need to fit into their corresponding holes and then slide down into the locked position. That door lock in position there. Once the door panel's in place, continue on putting in your mounting screw in this area. Let's get this installed. We'll start with the mirror switch. Continue on to your window switch. And now the door lock switch. Now we can slide this into the door, paying attention to this area. You need to roll it in, starting here, and then bring it down along the front. Let's install our inside door handle. Slide it into position. Once you have it in place, continue on with your one T27 mounting bolt. Make sure it's nice and tight. Put on your plastic trap door. We can continue on by putting in our 3 mounting screws. Let's get these lower ones in as well. Let's move up to the top and reinstall this corner piece. You've got this plastic hook that needs to slide behind the door panel. Okay friends, we've got everything back together. Let's just test its functionality one last time. Put the key in the on position and press on the switch. Perfect. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.